Good morning. I'm sat here with Steve Johnston, one of our new shaping sponsors, and I'm delighted to welcome him to that. So, good morning, Steve.
Morning, Steph. How are you?
Very well, thank you very much indeed. More importantly, Steve, welcome. Can you tell me a bit about your association with Portsmouth before we actually find out a bit more about your company?
Yeah, I first came to Portsmouth back in the 1970s when my employer at the time, which was a Chichester-based accountancy practice, opened a new office in Portsmouth. I was traditionally used to dealing with people from Chichester, which was often green wellies and farmers' jackets, and then suddenly I was exposed to the corporate world of Portsmouth. So that was my first involvement. That was in Guildhall Walk. Very happy days.
Fantastic. Well, Johnson Wood Roach, if I get that name right, is a company that I believe you started for yourself in 1992, which by my reckoning makes it 25 years old this year. So can you tell us a bit about how it started and the sort of journey you guys have been on?
Yeah, I started in 1992 when I had left a previous partnership where I was a partner in Morris Crocker, which was a well-established South East Hampshire firm. So I'll roll it back to those days. I went to Morris Crocker in the very first instance because I liked the look of their client list. So back in those days, there were names like Portsmouth Building Society, which seems to be a distant memory now, Portsmouth Football Club, and the likes of those sorts of businesses, which were traditional South East Hampshire clients that had been on the portfolio of that particular practice for many, many years. I decided as a relatively young person that I would go off and do my own thing, and started in a very small way, dealing with small businesses, trying to help them through, traditionally their accounting and taxation needs. That's what people normally want from an accountant. And it sort of grew from there. We've never advertised, we've never tried to promote the business. It's all been from recommendation, and now we sit here in Waterlooville with 5 directors, 20 staff, and about 800 clients. So it's developed, quite a lot since the early days. Sometimes you wonder if the journey you've been on is the same as the journey you wanted to go on, and maybe the answer to that is I'm not sure, but I'm quite proud of what we've done here. And we've worked hard at trying to give a service that cares about the clients so the clients stay with the business. And we do have a lot of clients that I've dealt with over the years that are still here, and this can be for 20 years plus. There's quite a few of those. So I guess that says something about us trying to do a decent job for them.
And that's an amazing story, and that kind of leads me into my next question. From my commercial background, obviously there are a lot of companies in the UK in your line of work. So you've just said about keeping clients for that length of time. What do you think differentiates you from, say, others to keep that loyalty?
I think what you have to do with all of the people you work with is to try to develop good relationships. And the way of doing that is normally through communication and caring. So I think we have to, as a business, and particularly now, communicate well with our clients. What's happened since I started my business, I remember when I first started, communication was done on the telephone or by fax. These days, communication comes in so many different forms, and it's so quick that people want very quick responses, and that's become a challenge. So on only one day we can open the post. There'll be postal communication still, although not so much. There'll be email communication, there'll be people leaving voicemails on mobile devices, and it's keeping up to date with that and still doing some work, which is a real challenge, particularly at the top end of a professional practice. Will that continue? I can't see that it will stop. I think that's the way it will always be. Is it different now from 25 years ago? A little. Is it better or worse? I think the same principles are there, that the clients have to feel that you care, and you have to actually care to make sure you do a decent job for your client.
There's a great lesson there indeed. So, Steve, moving the debate forward, as I say, I'm delighted that you've come on board as one of the shaping sponsors. You know how focused we are on raising the skills within the city. So if I turn it round, your 20-odd employees and that, how have you managed sort of talent acquisition over the years?
It's strange. At certain times in that 25 years, there's been a situation where it's been relatively easy to recruit. And so there's been lazy years, probably, when recruitment's easy. If you need someone, you can get them. I guess for the last decade, it's not been like that at all. It's very difficult to get hold of the right people when you need them. It's not a tap you can turn on and off. And because of that, you need to really focus on investing in training people yourself. I think that's the only way to make sure you get people of the right quality. So we do have quite a few trainees in this company. We do try to make them as good as they can be. they've got to be vested in the same process and have the same attitude to that. And we do try to give them opportunities. So I guess you can look at two of our younger directors, Kate Wood, who started here as a 17-year-old. She is now a shareholder and director of the company. She's an extremely talented accountant. And the other junior director, if you like, if you can use that word, it's probably the wrong one. I'll probably get a kicking for saying it. The other one, Jamie Roach, he is a chartered certified accountant and a chartered tax advisor. He came to us later on, but we think we've taught him a fair amount. He's learnt a lot since he's been here. And again, we've made him a director shareholder because it's a talent we want to retain in the company. Hopefully, with the trainees that are coming through, one or two of those will emerge, and we will try and give them the same opportunities as we've given to other people. That's how we've done it. It's a real challenge because people want quick answers to quick questions. They want skillful people, and somewhere around all of that you need to find time to dedicate to help train people, provide them with a proper study program that's suitable to their needs, and then give them an opportunity which is suitable as well. If they leave when they qualify and go to a new opportunity somewhere else, we're very happy for them to do that, and hopefully all of that will help the city.
Fantastic. I mean, that is an amazing couple of references you got there. And that kind of leads me to my last question, really, because, say, we've met recently and we're now going to sort of see how we can work forward. But knowing what Shaping is doing, what are the first things you can see as a company, how we can work together?
Well, I think we'd be very happy as a business to help with any sort of work experience programs. We would be very happy to participate and help in any initiatives which train young people in business, give them advice about maybe how they structure a business, maybe how they go about developing a business. We'd be very happy to work with other business people in the area to see if there's any initiatives from conversation and communication that can help young people, help the city improve the skill set. So all of those are areas where I think we can make a contribution. We've got quite a few very talented people in this organisation, and I would have thought that not just from the pool of directors but from other people in this organisation we would be able to lend a hand when it's needed.
Steve, thank you. I know, and you're so passionate about your own sort of values about the city, and that's why you and I are very common in terms of what we want to do together. I look forward to working with you. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Steph.